Welcome back, everyone. Today, we're going to talk about whether or not it's good to pay off your mortgage faster. Let's get started. Welcome, everyone. Today, we're going to talk about whether or not it's a good idea to pay down your mortgage as fast as possible. So with that said, this is a question I get mostly from homeowners, not necessarily investors. Should I be paying off my mortgage as soon as possible? What's the benefits? What's the risk? And as I always say to all of you, it all depends on what you're trying to accomplish. So I think from the investor standpoint, you've got to keep in mind a lot of what you're doing in real estate is obviously getting cash flow, but you're also trying to take paper losses. And you do that by, property management, by maintenance, by expenses, property taxes, and including mortgage interest, right? And so the way I think about it is, to be honest, if you have, let's say, 10 years left of your mortgage, you might actually want to refinance that if the rates are, are healthy or low. You might want to refinance that over a longer period, reduce your monthly liability, but still have that monthly interest accumulating, which is a tax write-off. So from an investor standpoint, it's not as easy as saying, hey, I just want to pay off my debt. You need to take into account the benefits that you get from the mortgage interest. And what I'll tell you is around years 6 to 7, most 30-year fixed mortgages begin to, the interest payments begin to reduce to a point where you might start getting some taxable income, okay? So now from a homeowner standpoint, again, I always think it's about cash flow. I had a client recently that had 18 years left on their mortgage, and they're like, look, I'm gonna refinance it down to 15, pay a little bit more per month. And I asked them, what is your goal? It sounds like your goal is to have better cash flow, but you could just do a 30-year mortgage now, reduce the payment, and get better cash flow. And so one of the items that I tell them to consider is, okay, so you're gonna reduce the amount of time, right? Great. But in doing so, you're probably going to either be equal to or higher in your payments, which ultimately reduces your cash flow. So are you willing to pay higher payments for 15 years just to save 3 years on a mortgage? I don't think so. But conversely, if you did extend it to a 30-year period, you would lower your payments for the entire time, effectively 18 years of lower payments, and you would still have the mortgage interest to write off as a tax benefit. And so this is something to consider. It's not always just about a race to pay off your debts, okay? So when I look at these questions and I think about these questions, I'm always thinking about how does it impact my cash flow? Okay, because cash flow is ultimately going to produce freedom, and the more you can build your cash flow, or the more you can reduce your liabilities each month, the better that cash flow. Okay, so that's a quick tip, something that I give here and there, and I just thought you should all know about it. If you like what you heard, be sure to subscribe, and also comment below. I'm curious to know what your thoughts are on that whole question. So thanks.